I
Super
am
Bowl.
very excited about this Bills Ravens game. My bad. I
No,
know.
no, no, no. Thank you for bringing us back to the topic.
Correct.
I'm very excited about this game. I think this is I don't want to say last chance. Obviously, both these guys are great. They've been competing for the championship for years. Thank you, Damien. Aaron Brooks. Aaron Brooks, another good one. But this to me is both teams' best shot to beat Kansas City. And that's why there's so much on the line here for them. In the first meeting at the beginning of the season, the Ravens beat the brakes off of the Bills. Josh had his worst game of the season. These niggas had zero answer for Derrick Henry, and I do think that's going to be a storyline that we're not talking about. Derrick Henry's impact on it. We'll get to actually who we think is going to win on Friday and give picks, but that's from a storyline. I can't remember a quarterback battle like this that I feel like so much is riding on from a narrative perspective, because even though we've had great games with Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow even beating Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow, one of the only two quarterbacks to beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game, him and Tom Brady. And you had the couple games between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. There was never a question about who was the better quarterback between those two. Depending on who you ask, there's a lot of varying answers you'll get about who's the better quarterback between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. I was firmly in the Josh Allen's better than Lamar Jackson camp, and I changed my mind this year. I think when it comes to generational talents in the NFL at quarterback, there's only two. There's Mahomes and there's Lamar. The way I've seen Lamar throw the ball this year has been incredible, and I got to give it a lot of that to Todd Monken and the way he's changed it. He made you show the difference between him and Greg Roman when it comes to play calling. But I'm excited about this game. I think this is definitely going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a close game. But we all know the MVP isn't decided in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure they vote when the regular season's over. And if you look at who became the All Pros, it feels like the Lamar Jackson is rightfully the favorite once again. But the conversation about who should be MVP in the public perception is going to be determined on Sunday night. Courtney, tell me about your excitement for this game and what are you expecting from this game?
I just really want to see Lamar be great. I don't want it to shape the conversation that we have, especially since obviously it's who's gonna, it's MVP talk, right? I just would hate to see the Ravens with all of the weapons that they have go out sad, and then just think about what the conversations are going to look like on Monday. Oh well, Josh Allen did this with freaking Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir, and it's not going to be a good look for Lamar, who's had to deal with these doubts and these people that have doubted him for that would suck. I would hate that for him. I'm not a Ravens fan, but that would really, I feel like it might set him back. I feel like it might set him back. Obviously, somebody's got to lose. It should not be the Ravens, but I feel like this would set him back again and put him back in a spot where he kind of has to prove himself again, if you know what I mean.
I do believe there's way more on the line for Lamar than Josh Allen, just because narrative wise, even if the Bills lose, it's gonna be like, well, look what the Bills did. Nobody expected them to get this way. Like on top of him being a black quarterback, there's way more on the line for Lamar, and there's gonna be a lot more unfair Lamar narratives for him, especially if he plays bad, than it will be for Josh Allen. Bang, what's your take on this matchup?
Hey man, this right here is high quality football. This right here is high. This is what make rivalries. This is when you get those Steve Young versus who, like Troy Aikman.
Troy Aikman.
You get the Dan Marino versus like whoever. Like this is what we're talking about here. Like I love this matchup. I love everything about this matchup. This is must-see television. Can't wait for this matchup. particularly 1 and 2 in the MVP voting. I think Lamar got more All-Pro votes, so a lot of people think it is going to lean toward more Lamar because of the MVP voting and stuff like that. But no, I can't wait for this matchup. It does not feel like it's the closest to. This is like that Super Bowl matchup you want to see, or that NFC or AFC championship you want to see, but you're not going to see it because you got Patrick Mahomes over there. Like, this is what it is. I can't wait for this. I might not even put a FanDuel bet up for this. I might just watch this as a normal fan.
This is like if in wrestling, you know what this kind of reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of not when it was The Rock and Stone Cold, because to me that's Mahomes and Burrow. But this is kind of like when Triple H would have good matches with Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Yeah, that to me is what this is like, if we're gonna use a wrestling comparison. And I do feel that there's been a lot of unfair criticism for Lamar this year. If we even look at the way they worded, who had the most total touchdowns? Now, before, when you would bring up total touchdowns for Lamar, it was, we don't really care about the running. Now it only matters. Even when they call the games, it'll be a run. And as big of a Josh Allen fan as I am, that we've seen Lamar do that same run countless times, but it gets reacted to differently. And that's why I think it's here. That's why I think it's going to be a close game. But like I said, like somebody said, I'm betting 2 Allen touchdowns, 2 Henry touchdowns. Yeah, The Rock versus Triple H. That's a good one. You know what I'm saying? But even then, I think if Joe Burrow's in, that's why I would look at. Because to me, the 2 spots are solidified. I think it's Mahomes and Burrow. But this is definitely Triple H angle. But I think the wild card here is Derrick Henry. Like, we're looking at the quarterback matchup, but the Bills had a terrible time trying to stop Derrick Henry early in the season. This is why you also win these games. This is where losing the games that the Ravens had no business losing early on the season might bite them, because they got to go to Buffalo. I would feel way more confident about their chances if they had to come to the bank. Out there, Bills Mafia, and not that they can't play in weather, because they can, but it's going to be a little different for this defense on the Ravens. Ravens defense has closed the season well, but it's a lot different playing Josh Allen than it is playing Russell Wilson. And that, to me, is where it's going to be decided defensively and also in the running back department, because I think Derrick Henry is going to have a game. But from a quarterback standpoint, this is going to be incredible. Any final thoughts before we move on to our next topic?
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one.
Said it's gonna be Taker versus Mankind, Hell in a Cell type game. Definitely. When some niggas getting thrown off the top of we got a couple more names. Kyle Lorton, Joey Harrington, EJ Manuel. EJ Manuel might have been trashed. I don't know if he was mid. I think EJ Manuel was kind of trashed. Heath Schuler.
Hey, Heath Schuler was ass. Hey, Heath Schuler was ass. Heath Schuler, when you ass when you become a U.S. senator, like that's like when you have a political career, you're ass. All right. So,
Tommy Maddox. Tommy Maddox.
Yeah, hey.
Tommy Maddox. XFL to NFL.
Yes.
Tommy Maddox. Frank Reich, like you just named. Frank Reich got a couple coaching jobs because of his little lucky postseason he had.
Hey, Frank Reich, greatest comeback in NFL history.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think it was. It was. Well, the greatest playoff. Remember we had where the Colts came back.
Greatest playoff.
Greatest playoff comeback. But let's move to the other big stories in this divisional round. Is Detroit Lions. We talk about the Bills, how much is riding for the Bills. Those 4 Super Bowl losses in a row and them having a great chance to win this time. The Detroit Lions trying to make up for what happened last season, where Dan Campbell said fuck it multiple times, and the aggressiveness is the reason they lost to the San Francisco 49ers. You want to talk about aggressiveness. And as Orlando said earlier, Dan Quinn was trying to beat Kirkland, Dan Campbell. You're going to see, I think we're going to see 3 punts tops this game. If I was a betting man, I would bet on how many punts that we'll see on Sunday. We're going to talk to Mikey on Friday and think what he thinks. But this is why, like I said, we'll make our picks on Friday. This is why this is a dangerous situation for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion. The Lions have everything to lose. They have to get it done this year. We don't know what this team is going to look like next year with possibly both of their coordinators gone. There's a huge possibility that Ben Johnson 100% going to be gone. But there's also a huge possibility that Aaron Glenn is going to be gone. Now you got to get that. And now you're going to really see just how good of a recruiter Dan Campbell is in the CEO coach type of mind, trying to replace both of those outstanding coordinators. They have to get it done this year. The NFC North is not going to get any less competitive. Minnesota's still going to be there. Green Bay's still going to be there. We hope that the Bears will build and they're going to be there and Caleb will progress. This is not going to be an easy division going forward. You got to get it done now. And what you never want coming off a bye week is a team where everything is going right in the Washington Commanders. They have nothing to lose. They go on there and they can get blown out. It still was an amazing year for them. And you don't want to play with a guy like Jaden Daniels who has nothing on the line. And it's going to be hard to defend. There's a difference when you're going up against a Sam Darnold, who is great of a season as he's had. I'm still not 100% sold on. And I think you're going to see the Vikings 100% sold on him when they tag him. But Jaden Daniels is very dangerous here. Cliff Kingsbury, very dangerous here. Terry McLaurin, look at those injuries they have in Detroit. Who's going to be able to check him? Now, I do believe Detroit's the favorite. I think Detroit should win. I picked Detroit to come out the NFC, and I'm going to continue to pick them because that's what was my preseason Super Bowl matchup with them and the Chiefs. But I think they're in dangerous waters here, and I think the Commanders got a real good shot to, have some history to how it happened this weekend. Courtney, what do you think about this matchup? And the storylines we got with that.
Yeah, the Commanders are giving very much Arizona State vibes. Nothing to lose and everything to gain. And I have said it before. I think the Commanders were ahead of schedule. So I mean, I don't expect them to win by any means, even with all the injuries that Detroit has. I don't really expect the Commanders to win, and I'm not. We'll get into picks, on Friday, but I don't think that they'll win. But that being said, Detroit does have to get it done. You'll never have a clearer path in the NFC than you do right now. So you better go get that shit done. And that's with the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles offense is terrible right now. So you got to get it done. You got to do it.
100%. Bang. What's your feeling on Saturday's game?
Nobody give a fuck about the Detroit Lions but the Detroit Lions and J.R. Bang. No, I have put my allegiance with the Detroit Lions to take care of what they got to take care of with the Washington Commanders. However, you're right. All of the pressure, I mean all of the pressure, is on Detroit. This might be your last year with the whole entire coaching staff. You got Aaron Glenn, who was thought to be the front runner for the New Orleans Saints thing, but then you got Mike McCarthy coming out there, possibly taking your job, which means that Aaron Glenn and that defense got to come out with 2 pick sixes. Like, they got to dominate. They have to show Jaden Daniels that he is a rookie. And the way that they've been beating up on teams has been dope, but they also have had situations where they've let teams stay in, they let teams rock, and they've been in some you're gonna have to outscore me games. That can't be the case here. In order for the Detroit Lions to really show their dominance, they gotta beat the shit out of the Commanders. Simply put, they have to beat the shit out of them to make the rest of the NFL scared. And I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, go ahead. Courtney has something?
No, someone asked if I claim Jaden Daniels as a Sun Devil. In my heart, I do.
So is it like my brother claims Joe Burrow because he graduated a Buckeye?
I was at Arizona State when Jaden Daniels was the Arizona State quarterback. So I have a special.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
he was my quarterback.
My brother be like, well, Joe Burrow, he graduated a Buckeye. Oh, okay. We'll get that. Final topic of the day, man. Final storyline of the day. The road to the three-peat begins for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs lost 2 games. The Chiefs really only lost 1 because the last one was Carson Wentz playing. Like, they punted that game because they already had the Division 1, already had the number 1 seed run. They're trying to do something that's never been done in NFL history, and that has become the first team to three-peat. A lot of teams have got it close. You got the Steel Curtain Steelers got close. The 80s San Francisco 49ers got close before Joe Montana got killed by Lawrence Taylor. The 90s Cowboys got close. Was a debate today of whether or not that was pass interference over Michael Irvin in the end zone. A lot of people debate that from day one. They had that. There was a chance with the Denver Broncos, but they never got close. I don't even think they made the playoffs that year. And then the Patriots had a chance in 2005, but they got eliminated by was it the Denver Broncos or was it the Chargers who beat them? I think it was the Denver Broncos who eliminated them in 2005. But since then, nobody has gotten close. Patrick Mahomes has had his worst statistical season, but this defense has been great. The offense has done just enough. And Travis Kelce was on Pat McAfee today, and he said, "Yo, we've been hearing the whispers. Everybody, starting to talk about what chances the Houston got. I think this is going to be important, and I think that really it's going to be a tough road. I don't expect. I don't really know exactly who we can expect the Texans to be. I feel like the Texans defense and defensive line is good, but they're not as good as they showed this Saturday. I think that's more of an indictment on the Chargers than it shows how good that defensive line is. It's going to be much different when you're trying to get up against that Kansas City offensive line, especially on the road. And I believe this defense will have their way, or at least expose C.J. Stroud even more than the secondary of the Chargers did. But I think that them having home field advantage, unlike last year, is definitely going to help. And I think they have a legitimate chance to do it. I said it at the beginning of the season. I believe they're going to three-peat. And then, Tom Brady's going, start to think a little bit, this nigga get a little close to my records. I think that they're not worried about beating anybody. I think that they live for this type of stuff. To hear everybody talk about we're talking about Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. They hear all the talk. And I really think that when everything is settled, that they're actually going to three-peat. That's going to be the first thing we see in NFL history. Courtney, what do you think about their chance to three-peat? And really just do the Texans even have a chance for this to even be a conversation?
Any given Sunday, it can happen. Will it happen? I'm highly doubtful. But I don't, honestly, I think whoever wins that Ravens-Bills game can beat the Chiefs this year. Something, I know they've had some, good teams do, all the little things. I get it. I'm still thinking about that Denver game where they won off a blocked field goal. They've had a lot of things go in their favor. And I'm just saying that I don't feel it this year. I don't feel it. Maybe I'm being delusional because I don't want it to happen. I don't feel it this year, guys. I don't believe in the Chiefs.
Did you feel it last year? Did you feel it last year? Because I had a similar conversation last year.
You're absolutely right. We did have this conversation last year. Wait, yep, you're absolutely right. What is my dumbass thinking? What am I thinking? Why would I ever doubt?
And Baltimore had home field advantage last year.
Why would I ever doubt Patrick Mahomes? He's never literally given me a reason to doubt him.
And that's why I'm at. I'm like, look, they could lose. I think, like I've said before, I think the Bills and the Ravens is their best shot to knock the bully out. They could lose. I'm not betting on it. If they lose, they just lose. They ain't finna be on my watch. I am giving him Tom Brady, Michael Jordan treatment. If y'all lose, that's just because y'all lost. Not because I said y'all was going to lose. Bang, you said all season that you're taking the field when it comes to who's going to win the championship. Do you still feel that way, or do you think the Chiefs going to actually get it done?
I still feel that way only because it's hard to win 3. Like, you playing all of these games, attrition, and all of that stuff. I'm not as confident as I was at the beginning of the season, but I'm still taking the field on this case. But it's hard for me to look at the Kansas City Chiefs and not think that it's not going to happen. Like, they got the easiest road. When you look at it as number 1 seed, you do have the easiest road. When you look at who they're going up against, the Houston Texans. Remember when Deshaun was there and they was up 21-0.
That great comeback.
and that great comeback. Like that was one of the few games where I looked at them up 21-0 and was like, oh yeah, this game ain't over with. And what happened? They end up losing. So hell no. CJ Stroud is not winning this game for them. And then when you look at the war of attrition that's probably going to take place between the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills, it's hard for me not to say that the Kansas City Chiefs is not going to go to the Super Bowl. I think all of this is contingent on what Detroit does. And like I said, Detroit has to put their foot on the neck of the Commanders to show teams like, yo, we out here. It's the playoff time. We rested. We good. Demo out here with 3 touchdowns. Like it has to be a game like that in order for me to change my mind. Like it has to be a game not like that in order for me to change my mind about the field. But I do believe that the field right now still is going to win the Super Bowl.
So cool. Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not